In life, many times challenges come, and sometimes challenges are the best gifts you can have. I'm reminded of something that happened in the 1980s in Japan. So, in those days, in the 1980s in Japan, Japan was exporting a lot of cars to the United States of America, to America. And what happened is the American automotive industry was facing challenges from the Japanese auto industry. So they lobbied and something came into play. So the Japanese decided to put something called VER. What is VER? VER stands for Voluntary Export Restrictions. So they said, okay, if we are exporting cars, we can export a limited number of cars. Now, in those days, they were selling Hondas, Toyotas, Nissans, and these were in the price range of $6,000, $7,000. But because of this export restriction, they decided to do something innovative and creative. And what did they decide to do? They decided, why don't we sell luxury cars? So instead of selling a Honda, why don't we sell a luxury version of the Honda and charge more for it? So if a regular Honda is $6,000, $7,000, why don't we create a luxury car which is $30,000, $35,000, $40,000? And what happened? They came up and created a few brands. So Honda created a brand called Acura. Toyota created a brand called Lexus, and Nissan created a brand called Infinity. And they were surprised because now people were buying Japanese luxury cars. And today, many of you might have heard of these brands. Many of you might have heard of Lexus or Acura or Infinity. And these brands would not have been possible if the Japanese auto industry hadn't faced this challenge of VERs, because they would never have imagined somebody would buy luxury cars. So the next time you see a Lexus, think how a challenge turned out to be a gift. Similarly, something similar happened in India. So in around 1990, 1991, India was on the verge of bankruptcy. We had something called the license Raj, where to start a business, you had to take so many permissions from the government called a license. We had a foreign exchange crisis. And because of this crisis, the Indian economy was forced to liberalize and open up. In fact, before this, I remember when I was a small boy in the 1980s, in order to get a TV, you had to wait for a year. In order to get a phone line, you had to wait for 2 years. And then India liberalized. And because India liberalized, today, India's economy opened up. Today, you can get a TV in 10 minutes online. You can get a cell phone maybe in 5 minutes. You can just order it online. So none of these things would have happened, whether for India, whether for Japan, if it wasn't for challenges. Even in your life, today, you might be going through a challenging situation. You might be facing a job loss. You might be looking for a job. You might be facing a health challenge. But whatever challenge you are facing today, if you tap into your creativity, if you tap into your inner self, you can come up with innovative solutions. But it is very important for you to have a clear vision. You need to have a vision. If you don't have a vision, you cannot go in that direction. That is why I stress the importance of having a vision, because a vision will guide you. In fact, we have a very interesting program on LinkedIn Learning called Goal Setting for Happiness and Success. You can check it out. Whatever you do, have a strong vision, because that vision will really guide you towards success, towards happiness. This is Yogesh Chabria, wishing you all the best on your journey, and see you soon